Okay, so picking up where we left off yesterday, you'll notice that the directions for this section say find the GCF of each polynomial. Okay, so we did that yesterday. Today, we're going to be switching and taking it one step further. It says find the GCF of each polynomial and then factor it. So first of all, what will happen today is that you need to list me your GCF. So in this case, what do they have in common? Well, 22 goes into 44, so they both share a 22. And then remember my r's, r of the fifth would be like this, r times r times r 5 times, and r of the fourth would be that. So how many r's do they have in common? They have 4 r's in common. That's my greatest common factor. Okay, but now we're going to take that and we're going to pull that out because that's what it means when we factor. Maybe we want to find two things that multiply to equal something else. So we got to find two things that multiply to equal this here. So we're kind of working backwards, as you'll see in a minute. So I pull out that 22r to the fourth, and what is left? So really what's happening, I'm dividing up here by 22r, and I'll leave more room next time. I'm dividing by 22r to the fourth, because that's what we're working backwards here from what we did a few days ago. So when I divide and I factor this out, what does this leave me with? Well, 22 divided by 22 is just 1. R to the fifth divided by r to the fourth. Remember our exponent rules. That's just r. And then 44 divided by 22 is 2. And then my r's cancel out. So if I were to go back, so that's my answer there. That is my two factors. So it says factor the polynomial. So here's one factor and here's the other one. If I were to plug this back in and check my work, remember last week we were doing the following. We're just multiplying in. So when I distribute in, I would get 22r to the fifth plus 44r to the fourth. Well, guess what? That's what we have up here. So what happens is that this is kind of going, I don't know, if we consider this going forward, then this is the opposite, and we're going backwards. They're inverse operations from each other. That's why here we always multiply. So up here we were dividing. So let's do another one. When I look at 15, 20, and 35, what number do they have in common? My GCF is 5. I can't put a C in there because there's no C right here. So now, to factor, what I'm actually doing is I'm dividing all of these by 5. Okay, little edit there. I wanted to be very specific. I put things on the same line last time, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to mess you guys up. So when I divide by 5 here, that's going to give me my factors. So my factors, I have that 5 pulled in front, and when I divide by 5, what is left? This will give me my two factors. So I have 7c squared. 20c divided by 5 is 4c. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3. So if I multiply this back through, if I wanted to check my work real quick, that's 35c squared minus 20c minus 15, that checks. Okay, we'll do two more of these. So when I look here, this one's a little easier because my GCF, I start with the smallest number. Well, 8 doesn't go into 13, and that's a prime number. 8 doesn't go into 11, also a prime number. So I'm only looking at the D's. So it's the highest number of D's that they have in common. There's a D to the fifth that they have in common. So now I'm going to factor that out. So that d to the 5th comes in front. And what does that leave me? That leaves me with 11 minus 8d squared, because I'm dividing all these by d to the 5th. And then 13, we're going to add 13d to the 4th. So again, if you wanted to check it, 11d squared minus 8d to the 7th, and we're just multiplying this back in, and I'm just kind of double checking here, and then looking up, everything checks. Okay, last one we're going to do. This one's a little trickier. I start with the smallest number of 6, and it doesn't go into 9. However, if I take my 6 and I break it down into prime numbers and do that prime factorization, you'll notice that the 3 does go into both of these numbers. So I can pull a 3 out in front. That's my GCF. It's 3. So then when I factor that, really everything's just getting divided by 3. So I have 3x cubed left, and I have 6x squared, and I have a 2. And again, the reason I can't pull an x is because there's no x over here. If I had 6x, I'd be able to pull an x with the 3. There's no x, so I can't pull anything but a number. So where did we leave off yesterday? Well, let me do these problems right here, 13 to 21. So get those updated, done, uploaded. Sorry, not updated. Get them uploaded. Show your work. Okay, a couple more a little bit trickier, but really even there's big numbers here. Think about what numbers you can break down and do some GCFs to see what can go in there. So good luck. And if you have any questions, let me know.